the universities in the US, which is engage coaches and all of that. So I'd say at the moment, it's I don't think they're entirely in the right place. Hopefully they get there, but at the moment,
they went into that competition running some really good times. And we seem like
the games, the championships are not being held at the usual time. The first name that comes to mind is Fambule, the Liberian chap, yeah? A few of them are carrying injuries. I would have put my money of 6.94. National record gone, was in the first position until I think the second jump by
Rumi.
And then she moved from gold to silver, eventually settled with bronze. But there's a problem here.
Okay.
The athletes, have they been psyched up? I don't think so. Because many of them are thinking about, what am I going to do? If you take a look at the Diamond League and the World Athletics Continental, the step lower, tour.
Gold, silver.
How many of them are being invited? I've seen Adamati perform in just two of the Diamond Leagues. Yeah. If I'm right, the Paris one and can't remember what the other was. But the time went too good. The others haven't. So the question that I ask is, how are they going to bridge the gap? More so when now, the last Diamond League that took place on Sunday is the last one to take place until the champs are over. Then we go straight to Zurich the following Thursday and Friday. It's 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's going to be a problem to get these guys to deliver what we want. And maybe that's where the French stuff comes in, the one that Bauer spoke about, them going off to France. But I wouldn't count my chickens there either, because there's a vast difference between training, and doing the business on the day itself. And I keep on saying that. If you look at most athletes, and it goes back to even before Andrew's era, the likes of Davidson Ezinwa, the Nigerian sprinters, they were doing fantastic times in the lead up to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Mary Onyali. But come to the Games, they don't deliver simply because those are one-off races.
Yeah.
But in those days, it was 4. To win a gold, you'd have to run 4 races in the sprints, whether they liked it or not. Now they've given them 3. They say that they'll do the prelims in quotes,
yeah,
and then the major stars come in Very good. Yeah. So it becomes a bit of a problem. And since many African athletes have that problem, look, the names are plenty. There's a platform you and I on, they were discussing, I think, about the way Simbine, Akani Simbine, had just beaten Fred Curley. And I put on the platform and said, that's a one-off race. Do it where you pace yourself and then deliver on the day. And then you find out that African athletes are wanting.
Alu is notorious for doing that.
Absolutely. The main thing is just get yourself to the final and peak in the final. That's what matters.
Yeah.
And so I look at people like JP Amwa, and I'm not seeing the JP Amwa I saw last year. And I think JP Amwa is more of a 200 meters runner than a 100 meters runner.
True.
I think the same could apply to James Dadze.
True.
So it leaves us with virtually nobody really to compete in the 100. And that's why I said
You're watching Goal Chase. We're looking ahead to Budapest. Need to secure professional contracts. And even those two only happened last US collegiate system. Omanyala, Kenyan Train, Talu. Has not produced a single athlete. We'll get into the bottlenecks of what we've still got a couple of other presentations to make for you about where Ghana should be investing.
The smell alone. Oh my God.
Every year, we will give to you back. We are talking about.
sold to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is...
Syntax. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior
rewards in the EcoBank double salary promo reloaded. Vimwo.
Open an EcoBank salary account today for a lifetime of benefits.
Crazy pa. Don't stop me now, me. Barman! Barman! Not for sale to persons under 18 years of age and not recommended for pregnant women.
Walking satisfied is.
That's so true.
First to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana, Syntax again was the first to
Welcome back. This is Gold Chase, a special build-up program to the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, starting on August 19. We're taking the PM Express slot, and PM Express, of course, is sponsored by Cherry Tree Properties. We develop spaces as though we were going to occupy them ourselves. Syntex Tank is strong, it's tough. Alomu Bitters experience greatness in every moment. Ghana is commissioned as well. Let me tell you a bit more about Syntex Tank. No matter your water needs, Syntex Tank has it all. They were the first, of course, to introduce a double-layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tank is first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana. We now introduce to you the customer specs order, which lets you order any color and size of your preference. So Syntex Tank gives you the longest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank in Ghana gives you. So that's pretty special. So whatever your water consumption size or project or demand, just choose Syntex Tank. We have agents nationwide. You can call them 0244-335-168 or shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, it's strong, it's tough. And Cherry Tree Properties. Desires are wishes, of course. Beauty is a promise of happiness, but passion is everything. Thinking about buying a new home? Talk to those who build with passion. Sloan Square is a new gated community development at Sakumono, developed by Cherry Tree Properties, a one-of-a-kind, well-planned luxury you've never experienced. Just contact them on 0553-662-366. Cherry Tree Properties, sophistication and class, of course. Now, all of Ghana's hopes, of course, are in the 4x1 relay team. And rightly so, because this team, all they have done since 2019 in that African Games is put smiles on the faces of Ghanaians. They've done it over and over and over. And the hopes are that they will do it again this year. We'll put together a very short report about their progress from that 2019 championships in Rabat up till now.
The Commonwealth Games in Birmingham climaxed a bittersweet story for Ghana's 4x100 meters men relay team. This is a story which started in 2018 at the All-African Games in Rabat. Ghana, anchored by Joseph Paul Amoah, ran 38.30 seconds to win gold. That performance qualified them for the 2019 World Championships. And in the Arab world of Qatar, the team reduced their time to 38.2. 11 seconds will not stand as the team was disqualified yet again. This time, for not passing the baton within the takeover zone. Disqualification in this round. They were looking to carry that same error.
Why does this keep happening? And obviously, you're coaching the team this time.
also as a country, are we willing to invest the amount of time it takes let me use the U.S. men for as an example, right? The number of times that they have failed to say advance or haven't had issues with the baton. Overall, I think these guys have done extremely well, given how limited a time they often have to put themselves together. For example, if you think about Silesia, right? Literally, they are practicing just as they get there. What happened in Birmingham in terms of that disqualification, which had to do with an administrative error, is something that shouldn't have happened and shouldn't happen again. I think the association has put in additional measures and additional oversight to just make sure that something like that doesn't happen, because that team was really primed to knock the ball out of the park per se. So with regards to the World Championships coming up, France is obviously going to be a good thing for us, as CEO mentioned a little earlier, and I think George also alluded to a bit, because there we get a chance for them to get together, practice a little bit, and the composition of the team is also going to be a little bit different, right? And so just making sure that we have all that down, France will give us a good chance to practice and get that nailed down. Coach Elom will be primarily responsible for the sprinters and working with me on that. So we're going to try our best, working with what we have, and move forward from there.
Okay, and Andrew, I know that you're on the road, so I'm going to ask you a follow-up question so that we can let you go and focus on your trip. We were talking about why Ghana has struggled to produce professional athletes, and by professional I mean those who have secured contracts and are using track and field as primary source of income. In the last 10 years, the GAA has done enormous work in terms of trying to secure scholarships for athletes to go abroad into the US collegiate system. Individuals as well have contributed their own quota in trying to get athletes to the US collegiate system. And that, for many people, initially was great success. That's what produced the likes of Azamati and Joseph Paul Awa, Janet Amponsa. But however, those are or can only be deemed as average level of success. What is preventing us from turning all these potential that we're sending to US schools to becoming top athletes? While other countries, for example, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, even Nigeria, to some extent Kenya, are producing all of their world hasn't been able to produce any athlete that has become a world beater, at least.
When he first came in, which is reflect on how much it takes to develop each athlete to the next level. And when I say the next level, I'm talking to see what we can do on the local level. And one of the things that was done there was to increase the number of competitions, which really is also a prerequisite. But for those who were good enough academically, could enter the U.S. system, to shift them then to the U.S. system, right? Because if you think about it, assuming that they are eligible for 4 years, for 4 years, somebody else is bearing the cost of that development. Yes, they are competing for their school, and also needs them, right? And I think that has been extremely successful for us. But there is a bottleneck, which we knew, and it's an ongoing problem. It was an ongoing problem before my time. It was an ongoing problem my time. And we are still seeing that, which is the transition after the collegiate system, right? It is not easy to secure a contract. So I think when we first engaged on this question of turning professional, being professional, I think one of the questions I asked was, well, how are we defining it? I think from the GA perspective and from Ghana's perspective, what is most important is the performance level, right? And whether there's a way to sustain the support for that athlete such that they can continue to produce. Right now, I think we have 2 athletes who are on contract. I know there were a couple of others where there were discussions. We'll see where that goes. On there, I'm not privy to the details on that. So I don't deem it a failure per se in terms of not getting more professionals. I think what's more important is whether, as a country, we can support these athletes post their collegiate careers, right? Because the alternative is to say that, okay, well, you run fast enough, or figure out how you're going to run fast enough, become a professional, and then hopefully Ghana, reaps some reward from that. As George mentioned, being a professional is also not easy, because a lot of the things that we may take for granted at the collegiate level is gone. Now you are responsible for your own health insurance, right? Yeah. You are responsible for your entire upkeep, paying coaches, physios, right? And all those things add up. It's actually a significant cost that is hidden when they are in the collegiate system. But then when they transition to the professional level, it also becomes a problem. And so for me, I would like us to focus, perhaps maybe redirect that question as to how can we sustain or get them to the level where they are able to compete and do really well at the global stage. The professional way will be one way to go, assuming they're running fast enough to secure a contract. Yeah. But I also think as a country, we need to perhaps invest a little bit more.
Okay. That's fair enough. Thank you very much, Andrew, that you could make time to join. So
let me just add.
Yes.
Let me just add a little bit to what Prof. Andrew has just said.
Yes.
If you compare Ghana to Nigeria or to Kenya or to South Africa, the comparison has a bit of challenge.
Okay.
I can give you an example like Blessing Kogbare. When Blessing completed school in US, he was given $120,000 to prepare to transit from the collegiate sport to professional sports. If you look at countries like Australia,
by who?
UK,
by the Nigerian government?
Yes. Yes, by the Delta State government.
Okay.
The Delta State gave $120,000. In South Africa or in Kenya, there are a number of Kenyan athletes in the US which are also doing well. In Côte d'Ivoire, the young lady was training in a high performance center in Senegal before she moved to Paris, before she even came down to train in Côte d'Ivoire with the same coach. But in the Ghana situation, our athletes, after the schooling, is the state willing to support them to transit from the student sports, from the student athletes to the professional athletes?
So you're saying
UK,
that
in Australia,
the state is not complementing your
Canada,
efforts?
In Canada, yes. When you go to Australia and UK in Canada, they have a program that they give, financial they give to the athletes after each year performance. When you finish the World Championship or you finish an Olympic Games, those who have got to final or those who got medals, they've got the number of men that are going to give them to the next Olympic Games. Those who got to final, they also got a certain amount they're going to give them to the next Olympic Games. And those who have potential, they're also being supported by the state. The problem that we have in Ghana is that when they go to the school prepare them to pick around May or first week in June. And we can't blame them for that because the school are paying for them to come around for them. The school are not going to prepare them to pick in August or at the end of July. They prepare. That's why Azamati always have that time between April and May. All of them have time between April and May. It is left within Ghana for also to have resources to prepare them to also pick after July or even in August. Look at when we're going to World Championship, even though Azamati had 9.90 and Jopol had 9.94, but before they got to Eugene, they were not doing that. They were not that fast again. Because they have entered the school and were not able, or the state were not able to give them the support to continue training, to be able to maintain or even. By their current performance.
Yeah.
You see what I'm driving at. US, they are not faster. Much more faster than Barnabas Aga, who is still in Ghana here. We have also realized that we are challenged in terms of technical handlers, coaches. We also try to develop the coaches now. That's now we are now having the 45 people running 45 in Ghana here. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, back to the issue of state support, right? When we compare some of our support these other African countries,
I think, and
the year they actually budget like a fixed amount of money. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, a fixed amount of money coming in. Like for example, Botswana.
Yeah.
Botswana gets the Botswana Federation.
Yes, Andrew, just go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. With regards to the athletes and performances, and see you just a slight correction there, because I think that yes, they are doing well when
Okay, I think Andrew is breaking up a little bit, so we'll have to truncate that. Apologies, we'll try and see. Andrew is trying to make a point about government investment in the sport, and Bauer made a very good point about the state complementing the efforts of the GAA. They send those athletes abroad. Their times obviously improve, and you can tell that the system somehow is adding value to the athletes. But what's the state's own role in taking them from collegiate athletes to the next level? And for me, I think it's a significant conversation to be had. And Bauer's example about Blessing Okogbari is brilliant, because after the collegiate system in the US, the state saw the potential, gave her money to stay there and train and enter competitions and go to high-performance centers from across Europe. Well, the results are there for everybody to see. He became a world beater. We will take a short break again. When we come back, we have a presentation for you, and then I'll go to my two journalists, especially Carl. I'm interested in his opinion of what it is that we did in the 90s for the likes of Vida Enim, Margaret Simpson, and the high-performance centers they were training at in Mauritius. They didn't go to the collegiate system. And they were not running sub-10s or jumping 7 meters, but they were constantly among the creme de la creme of world athletics. How did we do that? Is that a system we should get back to? You're watching Gold Chase here on the Joy News channel. We'll be right back.
My name is Tina. I am a person living with HIV. HIV medicine called ARVs every day, as prescribed by my for HIV recently, and it was negative. Test again when pregnant.
Must be free to shine.
Please, Simon Bermond.
Hey.
Chinese Simon Bermond.
We are all the
Only on Joy Prime. Big Chef Tertiary. The kitchen has no.
All right, welcome back. This is Gold Chase, build up to the World Championships in Budapest in 2023. It's athletics. The competition starts on August 19, will run till August 27. Ghana is sending a group of athletes, 4x100 meter relay team, 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump women, high jump women potentially to this competition. We've not won a medal at this competition since 2005. When Margaret Simpson won the bronze in the heptathlon women, and Ignatius Gazer won the silver in the men's long jump. How can we win the medal this time around, and why have we struggled? That's what the conversation has been on here. We've taken over the PM Express slot, of course, which is sponsored by Cherry Tree Properties. We develop spaces as though we're going to occupy them ourselves. Syntex Tank is strong, it's tough, and Alomo Bitters experience greatness in every moment, as well as the Ghana A's Commission. All right. And you say, whatever your water needs are, Syntex has you covered. They've got tanks with double layers, and now you can get and design your own tank. Get as many layers as you want, and of course, you can get as many colors as you want. You can order it in whichever color you want and whichever size you want. Okay, and they also give you 7-year warranty. Nobody else does that. Whatever your needs are, Syntex tank can provide them. They have agents nationwide. You can call them 0244-335-168 or shop online syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Also, Cherry Tree Properties. They're saying that desires are wishes, beauty is a promise of happiness, but passion is everything. You're thinking about buying a new home, talk to those who build with passion. Sloan Square is their newest property. It's a gated community development at Sakumono, developed by Cherry Tree Properties, a one-of-a-kind, well-planned luxury you've never experienced. You can contact them 0553-662-36. Cherry Tree Properties, sophistication and class. All right, well, welcome back. Michelle Kwenu of the Joy Sports Desk is here with a bit of a presentation on and a question as to whether or not perhaps we have been investing in the wrong area when it comes to track and field. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you. You're looking nice. So, what do you have? What do you have over there?
So we want to find out where Ghana can benefit, or where Ghana can create a niche at the world level. But to first understand that, you have to understand where niches have already been created.
Yes.
So here we have a presentation on which niches have been created. We're going to start with the Eastern African countries, specifically Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, and those guys who have dominated in the long-distance events. Okay. From 2013, we are using a time gap of 2013 to 2022 for this. Okay. And from 2013 to 2022 in Oregon last year, there were a total of 72 medals we won in the long-distance events. Here you can see the Eastern African men had 47 of those 72, whilst the rest of the world won just 28. This is the breakdown from 2013. They won 10, dropped to 9, 10, we dropped to 8. And then the story is the same for their women. Their women also won 47 of those 72 medals from 2013 up to 2022, whilst the rest of the world also won 28. Okay. Then, so this is the breakdown for the women. Then we are going to look at the sprint events. Okay. 100 meters, 200 meters, and let's add the 400 meters, which are dominated by USA and Jamaica. And from that period, we are looking at 45 medals which have been won in the sprints from 2013 to 2022. USA and Jamaica have won 27 of those medals, while the rest of the world has won 18. And this is the breakdown for US and Jamaica. For every world, in 2013, the 100 meters was dominated by US and Jamaica, all right, so let's see somehow 2015 where we had some Canada and other Great Britain come in there. But it's US and Jamaica who are dominating for the men and also for the women. Okay. The women have 21, slightly low as compared to the men, but you can see as compared to the rest of the world, them having 21, just 2 countries, that shows the dominance. And we are adding the 4x100 meter relay. For the 4x100 meter relay, there are 15 medals from 2013 to 2022. And from those 15, we can see USA
and Canada alone 6.
Yeah, so USA and Jamaica have appeared there about 6 times from those.
They won it 6 times.
Yes,
those 2 countries alone.
Alone have won.
The rest of the world combined
9. For the women, it's 5 to 10. So we ask the question: where can Ghana find the dominance? Obviously, at the championships, no African has won the 100-meter events. But from 1999 to now, we've seen maybe some impressive performances from Ghana's team. So this is a sub-10 breakdown for Ghana. 1999, Leo Mouse was 9.98. It took a very long time, up to 2005, before we could have another sub-10 performance, which came from Aziz Zakari. But from then, we had to wait 2005 to 2021, a very long time, before we got Benjamin Azamati breaking Leo Mouse' 9.98 by running 9.97, and then Azamati again running 9.90. Then right after Azamati ran 9.90 in March 2022, in April 2022, just a month later, we had Joseph Paul Ama running 9.94 seconds, which is now the second fastest time in Ghana's history. Then May 2022, Benjamin Azamati again with 9.96. So the story continues just like that. But in Oregon, the times were not exactly encouraging, where we had Azamati run 10.18 and Joseph Paul Ama run 10.22. This is what I call Ghana's class of 2023. The athletes who have been moved from Ghana to USC, the story we're talking about, from November 2022 to January 2023. We had Isaac Botiu, James Dadzi, and Abdul Rashid Saminu. The qualification time for this year's championship is at 10.0 flat. So how have Ghana's athletes fared, the class of 2023? Isaac Botiu ran at 10.03, which was when aided. Then ran at 10.27. Then we had James Dadzi, 9.89, but also when aided, so illegal.
Count.
Yeah, and we have a 10.04 again. After that, 9.89. And Abdul Rashid Saminu has run at 10.04. We can see for the times which are not illegal, for James and Abdul, they are very close, 0.04 seconds off the qualification mark. Yeah. So maybe this is where Ghana can, exert a bit of dominance if you are going to invest correctly, because you've seen the scale from 20 to 21 up to now. We are having at least consistent numbers getting close to that sub 10 area. Yeah. And that is where we can dominate. If you look at the 4x100 meter men, their story is very, let's say it's a very fairy tale story, which has some very solid. And then 2018, 38.30 seconds. 2019 World Athletics Championship, 38.24 seconds. They broke the national meter record twice in a space of just like 2 years. But right before that, the World Relays, they ran 39.11 seconds. They were third in the final, but they were disqualified. That first disqualification. Then in Tokyo, they ran 38.08 seconds to break the national record. Then in 2022, Oregon, they ran 38.07 seconds. And in Birmingham, 39.05 seconds. They go to the final, but as usual, the story again of another disqualification. So if we get our acts right, get everything right on the track and also in the offices, hopefully we can start medaling definitely at the championships.
Thank you very much for that. And Carl and obviously George, this is a question I want to ask both of you. Clearly, the guys are running faster now, but they're not getting in and getting the medals. The likes of Aziz and Vida, Enim and co were not running this fast, and they were winning medals. How do you explain that? Well, the rest of the world has gotten faster.
I think you need to look at certain things. The tracks play a role.
Okay.
The weather at the time in which the events are being run, and that's why I'm not too sure whether we see. But to answer your question, Margaret Simpson and Gaza. So, if we say people are running faster, yes. McLaughlin Levone smashed. She that was Carl Lewis in 1991. Oh, thank you. It was. was warm and was good for sprinters and not for long distance runners. Maybe World Athletics now needs to look at it and get it fixed to.
That excites you, isn't it? Because it almost looks like, and it
I think they've got a potential as any, really. What athletics with Carl, he's a comforting guy. He has been comforting me sometimes when I'm heartbroken. Charts. It's probably supposed. It's long. It's what? Semi-long distance. Distance. There are a lot of
it's
potential.
like having potential in
if
anything.
you go, yeah. If you go, if improvement, but what are we putting in? The US system is great. Elom, where he's doing the Kids Olympics, is a place to start. But what are the rest of the building? We don't do better. All these starts, even though they favor us, because yes, the black man. That our top athletes have to think about other things like visas, think about how much money they have to get, how to take care of themselves, where to work, other than thinking about how well to improve themselves on it. It's difficult. Even when an athlete who has sponsorship is injured, sometimes you have to go to the physio, let's say 30 times or 20 times. Do you know how much that will cost? And that's where relatively somebody, like Tibogo will be able to handle that because he is there. But even those who are training in Botswana and in the local, let me say their local countries, let's say local Africa, they have a lot of instructors outside who are constantly sending them the plan for the day, the plan for rehearsal. So the local coaches take them through. They're still paying, even though they are there. They are still paying.
That's
So the
true.
word is investment. And if we're not ready to invest, ladies and gentlemen, then we have to just wait.
We have to forget
for the
about
magic.
doing the sport. But just in about 30 seconds, what message do you have for all Ghanaians that will be watching these athletes with hopes in our hearts and desirous of a medal in Budapest? Okay, I think Bao is off. Bao, I think you've muted yourself. If you can just unmute and we try and wrap it up. Bao, can you hear me?
He's trying to unmute.
Okay. Bao is just trying to unmute, but we don't have a lot of time. Bao, did you hear my question?
Yes, you asked whether Ghana should be expecting a medal or something from
Yes,
our
briefly.
Everybody hopes that the athletes will do well, and my prayer is just what George has said. We need more investment into these athletes. Nowadays, potentials alone doesn't make an athlete a great athlete. We need to polish them, and for their performance, let's just pray that we get to Budapest without injuries. But if the injuries are going to persist, then we need to lessen our expectation of these athletes.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Bao Fuseni, CEO of Ghana Athletics. Thank you that you could join us. George Addo Jr. of the BBC joining us from London. Also, of course, Andrew always joined us all the way from his drive to Andrew. Where are you going? Andrew is going somewhere with his family. But thank you so much, all of you. It was a lovely conversation, and of course, my very good friend, senior and brother Carl Tufor. Thank you, Carl. Hopefully, we'll see each other in Budapest again, and every day you hand me $20. It's been lovely coming your way with another episode of Gold Chase. My name is Fento Tahiru Fento. Do enjoy your evening.